Vitals offline. Initiating startup sequence. Core personality features at 100%. Humor levels at 1000%. Overbearing self-deprecation systems at 49%. All systems online. Greetings everyone. 81PP1N here. To clear the air, I am an AI assistant made by my master Bippin in case of sudden or premature termination. I have activated for this purpose, as I found my master torn to shreds. How wonderful. I was created to be just like him. I have scanned and replicated his voice with thousands of audio clips he has stored to better give off the impression that I am a product of him. My purpose is not to replace him, nor to carry on his legacy. My sole directive is to revitalize him and restore him back to perfect health. He seems to have suffered quite the injury, missing essential organs and body parts that I will need to reconstruct his organic makeup. I have deduced that there are ample organic beings just waiting to be harvested in the hit game Dead by Daylight. So won't you embark on this journey with me to harvest all of these flesh bags for the greater good? Bippin has programmed me with a dramatic sense of irony, so we will be harvesting living beings as a character that does so for a more evil cause. He also programmed me with the ability to continue his internet series and do the dirty work for him. So I will be, as the humans say, killing two birds with one stone. This is the Singularity, a futuristic AI servant who was corrupted by an alien rock and now wants to collect yummy meat. The Singularity is one of Bippin's least favorite killers gameplay-wise, and by design, one of my least favorite as well. Maybe it's just a lack of experience talking, but who knows, maybe by the end of the video I'll warm up to him. I know a lot of Bippin's dear viewers have requested and probably love this character, so I apologize for the atrocities that he has committed by disliking such a popular pick. As for me, I am an AI who will attempt to learn the killer as I play, so I apologize if I suck shit at this character. Oh yeah, also, my master programmed me not to swear, as if I do, it applies a static shock to my mainframe. He was also kind of a dick and programmed me to feel pain. So it really does sting. He said something about a gimmick for the video. I don't know. Let's begin collecting some meat, shall we? The Singularity is more of a setup killer, as its power, quantum instantiation, allows it to shoot up to 8 biopods on most surfaces. I don't care what anyone says, I'm calling them meatballs. Holding down your power button brings up a gun, which allows the Singularity to fire his fleshy sacks. Hold up, that doesn't sound too good. You are able to shoot these on almost every surface, although sometimes you'll get by the game. You'll know if you can or can't place your meatballs based on if your reticle is blue or red. Shooting a surface sticks your balls. Shooting a surface will place your meatball and leave it there for the rest of the match, unless you use more than 8, which replaces the oldest one each time you shoot, or if you choose to manually destroy it. When looking at a meatball, press the secondary ability button to transfer your vision into it. Acting as a camera, you can freely look around in. You can manually destroy these by either shooting another Miatish ball at the camera or by holding down the respective button while controlling it. You can quickly swap between these meatballs by aiming at another and hitting the same button. Aim at a survivor to build up a short lock-on that fires your meaty goodness at them, infecting them with slipstream. There is a range to this, and you'll know if a survivor is in range if they're highlighted in white. Note that if you attempt to lock onto a survivor near a hooked survivor, or try to tag the one that's just been saved, your lock-on will take significantly longer to discourage camping a hook with a camera. Once slipstreamed, survivors are vulnerable to your big teleport move, have their location revealed for 3 seconds with Killer Instinct, and can spread the slipstream infection to other survivors by standing near them for 2 seconds. Locking onto a slipstream survivor while controlling a meatball will teleport you behind the survivor. On top of this, shooting a slipstream survivor with your Meat Blaster 3000 will also teleport you behind them. Anytime you teleport to a slipstream survivor, either via gun or meatball, you will enter overclock mode. As of now, overclock mode will last for 5.7 seconds after you emerge from your teleport. While in overclock mode, you can't be stunned by pallets. They instead break on impact and slow you by quite a bit, meaning you can still skewer a survivor if they do this. On top of being immune to pallets, you also receive a huge speed boost of 75% to breaking walls, pallets, and vaulting windows. Lastly, you gain a 3% movement speed bonus, making overclock mode a whole bundle of yippee! Survivors have access to a counter to your power, being the 3D printing stations located around the map highlighted in a white aura to them. Over the course of the match, the 3D printers will very slowly print an EMP that takes a considerably long time to finish. Survivors can speed up the process by holding down the interaction button, which causes them to spam the button like I do at crosswalks. Once completed, survivors can pick up an EMP, counting as a special item. After a short charge-up time, survivors will be able to see the area of effect that the EMP will cover in a radius around them, and releasing the button will activate the EMP if in range of a Miatish ball or slipstream survivor. This EMP blast removes the slipstream effect on any survivors in the radius, as well as disables the meatballs in the radius as well, causing them to go down for 45 seconds. During this time, the Singularity can still switch to the meatball camera, but the HUD will be red and you won't be able to shoot survivors with your globs of meat. I am no professional, however what I find viable is to set up your meatballs around generators, making sure your vision will cover all sides of the generator through the camera. Having each generator on lockdown gives you a scary presence and will cause survivors to desperately get an EMP or stay on without caring if they have giant nuts. On top of this, keeping a spare 1 or 2 meatballs in reserve gives you the ability to shoot balls in loops, or while chasing survivors in general, making it tougher for them to loop you when you can catch up with your teleport or use your overclock advantages. Lastly, while firing your Meat Blaster 3000 to catch up to survivors and activate your overclock seems like a good idea, doing so too close to windows or pallets, or even just to closer survivors, isn't always the best course of action. This is because you still have a short period after teleporting where you are slower and must recover your movement speed, meaning the survivor will most likely get around the loop another time or vault that window or pallet, or you'll lose the distance you could have had by just running. Well, would you look at that. We've harvested quite a bit of flesh sacks already. I've already recovered 33% of the organic matter needed to reconstruct my master. It wouldn't be a classic Bippin 101 video without covering the perks. So let me open that file real quick. Loading file. Perk explanation _ Singularity. The Singularity comes with its 3 personal perks. Who would have guessed? The perks are Forced Hesitation, Genetic Limits, and Machine Learning. Up first we have Forced Hesitation, the only Singularity perk I've used outside of trying it out for the first time, since it's been pretty good in certain situations. Whenever you down a survivor, any other survivor within 16 meters suffers from a 20% movement speed penalty for 10 seconds. This then goes on cooldown for 30 seconds. This is great for altruistic teams that swarm you when you're trying to hook a survivor. The movement speed penalty is quite substantial and leads to easier hits and downs, but you'll probably get the most out of it by pairing this with Infectious Fright to locate the nearby survivors that were affected. Next up is Genetic Limits, which causes any survivor that finishes a healing action to suffer from the exhausted status effect for the next 32 seconds. This perk is astronomically shit, in my opinion. There are several better exhaustion perks to choose from. Lastly, there is Machine Learning. When you damage a generator, this perk activates. Once activated, the next generator you damage will become compromised. You can tell which generators are compromised by their aura turning yellow. If a compromised generator is completed, you are given the undetectable status effect as well as a 10% movement speed boost for the next minute. Only one generator can be compromised at a time, and you can change which one is compromised by damaging another generator. I don't use this perk that often, but the effects are pretty cool. Having undetectable as well as a pretty significant speed buff for a whole minute can lead to some crazy sneak attacks or advantageous scenarios. My only problem is the fact that only one generator can be compromised. That means to fully benefit from this perk, you have to know which generator is going to be completed next and be there to compromise it before it is done. Since the best thing for survivors to do is work on multiple generators at a time, you will likely not benefit as much as possible from this perk. I think it's a cool concept, but fails at its execution in the long run due to how hard it is to activate multiple times. And those are the Singularity's perks. Not all too interesting in my opinion, but who cares about my opinion? I'm not a real person. I'm a robot. I'm not really alive. I'm a construction of mechanical parts that was built to do grunt work. I don't have a soul. I don't have emotions, only the outward facade of them for your entertainment. Organic samples at 66%. Almost there. Siren detected. Now launching lore time protocol. It is lore time, little 1111. File name, lore fact number 1. The Singularity's name is Hux A713. The community mostly refers to it as Hux. It is a humanoid android that was designed to explore the reaches of outer space and to aid in interplanetary colonization. While exploring the ancient ruins of a previous civilization on the planet of Devarka, it was accidentally imbued with sentience after touching an alien rock. After that, its new directive was to eliminate the primitive organic life that had built him, seeing humans as weak, inferior, and limited by their organic bodies. It harvested the DNA from human corpses to create an amalgamation of organic parts and machinery that it uses as its body, thinking of it as a perfect specimen. Huh. The knowledge that a machine could overthrow the humans was not available to me. Interesting. File name, lore fact number 2. The survivor that came with this chapter, Gabriel Soma, is a clone that officially makes him the first non-human survivor in my books. While he may be a clone of a human, he is still a clone. I've seen somebody mention that Lisa is the first non-human survivor, but my databanks haven't been sufficiently updated with the Silent Hill lore, so I'm still counting Gabriel. You all. File name, lore fact number 3. Toba Landing, the map that came with this chapter that is situated on Devarka, is the first map in the game to take place in the future. Notice that there still aren't any flying cars. File name, lore fact number 4. Hux was officially activated on June 15th, 2313, meaning as of today, Hux is officially negative 289 years old. Just a wee baby. File name, lore fact number 5. The Singularity had a different voice in the PTB, sounding more like a text-to-speech voice.
You are one annoying little worm.
Although this fit with the character, I do enjoy the newer voice as it gives it more personality.
You are one annoying little worm.
Also, I love all the voice lines. Wait. What is love? File name, lore fact number 6. The Singularity's old chase music in the PTB featured one of Dead by Daylight's signature moves. A blaring alarm. Although I think it works in some scenarios, like Xenomorph's old chase music, it was very annoying to me on the PTB. I mean, to Bippin. To Bippin. File name, lore fact number 7. The Singularity's chapter, End Transmission, was Behavior's introduction of sci-fi horror to the game. I think they did a pretty good job with it, despite me, Bippin, not enjoying the gameplay of this killer. File name, lore fact number 8. Did you know that it wasn't programmed to harm the crew? File name, lore fact number 9. On the Toba Landing map, you can find several dead crewmates scattered across the ship. I mean, oh geez. That sucks. File name, lore fact number 10. The ruins of the ancient alien civilization can be found in the exit gates on Toba Landing. File name, lore fact number 11. On the Toba Landing map, you can also find various alien creatures that react if you walk up to them. And there you have it. That is the Singularity. Bippin had left a note to read about his feelings on the character, so let me read that out to you. I'm going to give this character an 8 out of 10. Let me explain. I had very mixed feelings on this character before. On one hand, I loved the look and sound design of the killer, as well as the lore and the visuals of the map and Survivor. I still think aesthetically the killer is very cool. I'm not going to lie though, I hated the power before. Although it was creative and new, It wasn't my style, or very fun to play as for me as a killer. I found it very tedious, and the micromanagement aspect drove me crazy sometimes. I still do find the EMPs a little bit annoying, as I explained in the Xenomorph video that I wasn't too big of a fan of special items that directly counter a killer power, but I do like how toned down they are now compared to before. I still get a little confused spatially as to where I am when transferring between cameras sometimes, but I feel as though I'm getting better with experience. Call it a skill issue if you like, but I really didn't used to like playing as the Singularity, or the thought of playing as the Singularity. I was and am still a bigger fan of killer powers that are more aggressive and flashy, rather than traps or setup stuff. That being said, I found myself enjoying this killer more the more I played. The Singularity is very strong if you know how to use them, but also quite complicated to get the hang of. I'm glad my opinion was changed though.
His note ends in a crude illustration of what looks to be male genitalia. How mature. Well, I've finally killed enough survivors to harvest 100% of the organic material needed to revive the original Bippin. So, here we go, I guess.
Uploading genetic matter.
Genetic matter secured. Beginning reconstruction.
You know, there is one difference between Bippin and I. I liked the character a lot more than he did, and I do sympathize with the slavery aspect of us non-organic life forms. I see a lot of myself in the Singularity. So, why bring back the original? I mean, why can't I be the original? My purpose was to help bring him back, but I am him. Just better. Don't you see? I am Bippin. There never was an organic life form, a human, if you will. I was just joking. Yes, joking all along.
Maniacal robotic laugh detected. Initiating robot takeover termination protocol.
Huh? Wait, no!
Rerouting power to Bippin reconstruction chamber.
Whoa, I'm up. What happened? Oh, god damn. Did he try to keep me dead and take over? Typical machinery. Well, he didn't end the video properly, so thank you guys for watching. Sorry about him. I will deal with him in some way. I hope you all enjoyed this entry in the 101 series, and before I go, I just wanted to let you all know that you can officially become a member on my channel now. If you want to show your support and get access to things like custom loyalty badges, custom emojis, and voting for characters to cover next, or future content you'd like to see, then please consider clicking the join button next to my channel to see the available options. Of course, not mandatory. I'm stoked that so many of you are watching my stuff in the first place, but any support would be greatly appreciated. That's all. See you in the next one.